Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of Magic with Zuby. My name is Zuby, and if you're brand new to this show, the show is all about a little well-known card game called Magic the Gathering. So in today's episode, we are doing all the blue cards of M21, doing a set review. If you listen to my previous episode, you sort of get an idea of how I do these set reviews. I do them in a very casual manner. I'm not very competitive anymore, and if you're looking for a competitive edge for pre-release or sealed, draft, anything like that, you're at the wrong channel. This is definitely more of a casual standpoint where we talk about the art, talk about the card, if it's good and limited, constructed, standard, EDH, whatever, floats my boat here, and we just talk about them. So yeah, before we begin, if you want to help support the show, you can check out the show's Patreon at patreon.com/magicwithzuby. If you want to reach out to me on Twitter at magicwithzuby, on Instagram at magic_with_zuby, and you can email me with any questions you may have at mtgzuby@gmail.com. As you can tell, I say that a lot. And then, I feel like I've got a couple ads to get out of the way, and then we will get on with the blue cards for M21 here.
Well, hey there, Zoe. Why the long face there, chum?
I just want to order some magic cards, but the shipping was too expensive.
Too expensive? Well, did you know if you go to legitmtg.com, you can order any magic cards, and anything over $2 or more has free shipping?
Wow, free shipping's at legitmtg.com. That's amazing.
You heard that right, Zoe. Free shipping at legitmtg.com with any order over $2 or more. Be sure to visit today and get the best deal on Magic singles and Magic sealed product available.
Wow, that's amazing!
And that is how you beat the latest standard meta with ads in.
Ugh, it feels like there's no Magic content out there for someone like me. Someone who doesn't want to be competitive. Someone who is...
Who is... a normie?
Yeah, exactly! A normie!
Well, have I got the show for you, the all-new Magic for Normies show.
Hi, I'm Pixie.
And I'm Zuby.
Together, we host the all-new
Magic for Normies.
It is the Magic the Gathering show for all your normie needs. We don't care what deck got into the top 8 or what deck is winning. We care about having fun playing Magic.
That's right, Pixie. You can watch us on Pixie's Twitch channel at twitch.tv/PixieKittenPlays and catch the VOD on our YouTube channel, Pixie Kitten Plays. If audio is your thing, you can find episodes on the Magic with Zuby RSS feed. Magic for Normies. Alright, we are starting off with the blue cards of M21, and our first card, our first bad boy of the blue hour is Baron Talarian Archmage. I can never remember if it's like Archmage or Archmage. I go back and forth with it. 1 double blue, legendary creature, human wizards. It's a 2/2. When this enters the battlefield, return up to one other target creature planeswalker to its owner's hand. At the beginning of your end step, if a permanent was put into your hand from the battlefield this turn, draw a card. So, you can bounce your opponent's... you can either bounce your own creature or planeswalker to its owner's hand, or you can bounce one of your opponent's creatures or planeswalkers to get rid of them. It's not bad. I mean, would it be a pack one, pick one? Maybe. If there's nothing better, I'd look for removal over this. It's a nice little bounce effect for sure. And I'm sure someone will break this in EDH somehow. I don't know. I like seeing that Baron is back because he was one of my favorite characters back in the day. And I like seeing him back, but as far as the card itself, it's okay. Next up, we've got good old Cancel for 1 double blue. It's an instant counter target spell. These counter spells are always great. I love the flavor text of this, though. I decide what stands in my way. So if you need a decent counter spell in limited, Cancel is your choice of counter. Next up, we've got Capture Sphere again for 3 and a blue. It's a flash enchantment aura. You can enchant creature. When this enters battlefield, tap enchant a creature. Enchant a creature doesn't untap during its controller's untap step. So just another good, kind of pacifism type thing. And with people picking a bunch of capture spheres in limited can be very annoying. Very useful too, because enchantments are always one of those really hard kind of card types to get rid of. Next up, we've got discontinuity. Discontinuity, I think that's how you say it. For 3 and then 3 for 3 then triple blue. It's an instant. As long as it's your turn, this spell costs 2 double blue less to cast. End the turn. So it's a mythic, and you can just end the turn. You exile all spells and abilities from the stack, including this card, and the player whose turn it is discards down to their maximum hand size. Damage wears off in this turn and until end of turn effects end. So as far as limited goes, this isn't that useful. I mean, it's a useful effect, but you're only going to be able to use it once, and that's about it. So, I mean, in something like EDH, it can be very useful, especially effects that, like, say, hey, at the end of turn, you lose the game and all that. So, boom, it's great. I mean, as far as, like, standard and historic goes, I don't know, would this be even useful in those? I don't see how it would be. I don't know. There's probably other effects that make it better, but, I guess, I don't know. I don't know if this is like a really good card or not. Next up, we've got Enthralling Hold for 3 double blue. It's an enchantment or a chant creature. You can't choose an untapped creature as this spell's target as you cast it. You control enchanted creatures, so you can't choose an untapped creature as this spell's target as you cast it. So, yeah, for 5 mana, you can control enchanted creatures, so it would have to be a creature that has already attacked you or is tapped for some reason, and you get to control it. I mean, it's not bad. I wouldn't mind taking this. This is, I mean, it's almost better than kind of like Act of Treason in a sense. Yeah, I like it. I'd take it. Next up, we've got Frantic Inventory. Is this a reprint, or is this like a card? Wasn't there another card similar to it in like Shadows over Innistrad or something? Frantic Inventory for 1 and a blue, instant, draw a card, then draw cards equal to the number of cards named Frantic Inventory in your graveyard. So at worst, you're going to spend 2 mana to draw a single card. At best, you're going to pay 2 mana to draw 4 cards, I guess. Or, no, it'd be 3 cards, right? Because it looks at your graveyard at the time of casting it. I think so, right? Yeah, maybe. I don't know. So at best, you pay 2 mana to draw 3 cards. Not bad, not bad. Next up, we've got Frost Breath. 2 and a white, or 2 and a blue. I just did the white recording right before this, so if I have said 1 and a white or 1 and a... If I've been saying white and not blue, I apologize. It's sort of... I don't even notice... I'm trying to catch myself doing it. So for 2 and a blue, Frost Breath is an instant. Tap up to 2 target creatures. Those creatures don't untap during their controller's next untap step. That's always super handy to have, and especially a limited formats like Sealed and... draft. So these kind of cards are always good to have, especially if you're going heavy into blue. Next up, it's Ghostly Pilferer for 1 and a blue. It's a Spirit Rogue creature. It's a 2/1, so a 2/1 for 2. It's not bad. When this becomes untapped, you may pay 2. If you do, draw a card. Okay, I like that. Whenever opponent casts a spell from anywhere other than their hand, draw a card. Okay, it's not bad. Discard a card. Ghostly Pilferer can't be blocked this turn. Pretty decent. I mean, yeah, in a sense, I'd almost pack one, pick one this, because on your untap step, you can pay 2 to just draw 2 cards, essentially. You draw a card, and then during your draw step, you draw another card. Kind of, especially in a format like Limited, that's pretty handy to have to get through your deck. Yeah, I would pack one, pick one this. Jeskai Elder. It's a nice reprint to have. 1 and a blue. It's a human monk creature. It's a 1/2 with prowess. When this deals combat damage to a player, you may draw a card. If you do, discard a card. Always handy to have a good looter card like that, and I like Jeskai Elder. I love the monks in Khans of Tarkir, and glad to see some of them back, especially Jeskai Elder. Next up, we've got King Glidemaster. Yeah, Glidemaster. For 1 and a blue, it's a human soldier creature. It's a 2/1. You can pay 2 and a blue. Target creature gains flying until end of turn. So a 2/1, and you get to choose another target creature or this target creature to gain flying until end of turn. That's not bad. I mean, a 2/1 for 2 on itself is not too bad. And being able to possibly gain flying on the next turn, it's pretty good too. I mean, not a high pick, of course, but pretty decent, mid to late pick. Next up, we've got Library Larcenist for 2 and a blue. It's a Merfolk Rogue. It's a 1/2. Whenever this attacks, draw a card. So, I kind of like this more than Sorry King Glidemaster. Library Larcenist is my favorite card now. When this attacks, you get to draw a card. Even if it dies, it did its duty by drawing a card for you. Next up, we've got Lofty Denial for 1 and a blue. It's an instant. Counter target spell unless its controller pays 1. If you control a creature with flying, counter that spell unless its controller pays 4 instead. So with how easy it is to get flying in a format like sealed or limited, this could be pretty handy. And especially for a card like this, so I like playing a blue-white Flyers deck in Historic. I could see myself putting 4 copies of this card because there's a very high chance of me always having flying, and to pay 2 mana to counter a target spell and they have to pay 4 to, not counter it. Hey, I'm all for that. That's great. Next up, we've got Miscast. 1 blue, it's an instant. Counter target instant or sorcery spell unless its controller pays 3. Okay, I'm kind of liking these counter spells here. I'm liking them a lot. I'm liking. Not as good as Spell Pierce, because Spell Pierce targets any non-creature spell. But this is, and it's not as good as, Dispel only does target instants. This does instants or sorceries, and it's sort of like a mana leak for instant sorceries in a sense, kind of, sort of. I mean, I kind of like it. It'd be an annoying card to play against. Next up, we've got Mistral Singer for 2 and a blue. It's a siren creature. It's a 2/2 with flying and has prowess. Hey, a prowess creature. It's a 3 mana 2/2 with flying and prowess. Yeah, sign me up for that. Heck yeah. Next up, we've got an Opt reprint. I'm glad to see Opt being reprinted. It's always a good card to see. And as far as, Opt is always good. It's a blue mana instant, scry 1, draw a card. You can't go wrong with that card. In Draft and Sealed, this is always super handy to have, and it always sees constructive play. Even EDH, I like putting this in EDH as well. So next up, we've got Pursued Whale for 5 double blue. It's a whale creature. It's an 8/8, an 8/8 for 7. It's not bad. So when this enters the battlefield, each opponent creates a 1/1 red creature or red pirate creature token with this creature can't block, and creatures you control attack each combat if able. Spells your opponents cast that target Pursued Whale costs 3 more to cast. So this is Moby Dick the card, and an 8/8 for 7. But your opponent's creatures must attack each combat if able. It's not too bad. An 8/8 for 7, it could be a good bomb. And, at worst, you have one opponent create a red pirate creature token, and maybe that's the only thing they have, and boom, you just eat it with the whale, with Moby Dick. Kind of like that, and it seems hard to kill as well, too. Next up, we've got Reign of Revelation for 3 and a blue. It's an instant, draw 3 cards, then discard a card. Would this replace Chemister's Insight? Chemister's Insight you can still cast twice because of Jumpstart, so maybe not. But in terms of playing this in other kind of blue decks, draw 3 cards and discard a card, yeah, Limited would love this kind of card for sure. Be awesome. Next up, we've got Read the Tides for 5 and a blue. It's a sorcery. You can choose one, draw 3 cards, or return up to 2 target creatures to their owner's hands. It's not bad for a common. 6 mana, yeah, that's kind of costly to draw 3 cards or, bounce 2 creatures, and something like Limited, that's not too bad. Drawing 3 cards is pretty amazing for 6 mana. For a common, that is. Next up, we've got, when was the last time this was even printed? Rewind, 2 and double blue. It's an instant, counter target spell, untap up to 4 lands. Yeah, when did Rewind last see a reprint? The last time I remember first seeing it printed was Urza Saga? This is pretty surprising print here. I kind of like that we're seeing this, and it's in standard. It's cool. It's expensive counterspell for 4 mana, but you get to untap up to 4 lands should it go through. It's pretty nice. Pretty nice. Next up, we've got Riddle Form. 1 and a blue enchantment. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, you may have Riddle Form become a 3/3 Sphinx creature with flying in addition to its other type. Until end of turn, you can pay 2 and a blue and scry 1. So, yeah, you get to basically make this a 3/3 with flying. For an enchantment, it's not too bad. And then the Scry one is pretty good too. I mean, mid-pick, if anything, and like sealed, something like that. Next up, we've got Roaming Ghost Light for 3 double blue. It's a spirit creature. It's a 3/2 with flying. When this enters the battlefield, return up to 1 target non-spirit creature to its owner's hand. A 3/2 with flying for 5 mana that gets to bounce a possible non-spirit creature. And limited. So what do we call not bad? Not bad. Next up, we've got Rookie Mistake, and I like the art on this. Was this a reprint? Is this from Khans of Tarkir? Because that looks like Tarkir. That looks like the Jeskai Monastery. 1 blue instant until end of turn. Target creature gets +0/+2, and another target creature gets -2, -0. So it's not a bad little like sort of swap card. I mean, not the best or anything, but cool. Could be a cool little combat trick should you need it. Next up, we've got Rousing Reed for 2 and a blue. It's an enchantment aura. You enchant creature. When this enters the battlefield, draw 2 cards and discard a card. Enchanted creature gets +1/+1 and has flying. Ooh, I like that. I'm liking the art. It's like, so their book is enchanted and the pages are its wings. And then look like they're in a library or something like that, or in a town street. I don't know, something like that. Great literature can transport the reader. Ooh, I like the flavor text on that too. I mean, as far as a card itself, I mean, the drawing cards is great. And then with the added ability of giving a creature flying as well, that could be like an early to mid pick for me. Because I love drawing cards. I love it so much. Next up, we've got another shrine. Sanctum of Calm Waters. For 3 and a blue, it's a legendary enchantment shrine. At the beginning of your pre-combat main phase, you may draw X cards, where X is the number of shrines you control. If you do, discard a card. So, regardless, you play this, you get to draw at least 1 card, but you will have to discard a card for that. So it's a little bit of a downside, but, you know, if you control more than 1 shrine, possibly, during limited, you only have to discard a card. So, maybe at worst, you get to draw 2 cards and only have to discard 1 card. You know, it's not bad. Otherwise, it's for a 4 mana, you get to constantly draw cards on every turn. I like that. I like that a lot. Yeah, I would definitely, yeah, for sure, take that early to mid pick because as you can tell, I like drawing cards and I want to draw. I want to keep drawing cards. Next up, we've got See the Truth for 1 and a blue. It's a sorcery. Look at the top 3 cards of your library. Put 1 of those cards into your hand and the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. If this spell was cast from anywhere other than your hand, put each of those cards into your hand instead. So this is a sorcery speed Anticipate with the possibility of you being able to cast this from your graveyard and put all those cards into your hand. I mean, it's not bad. I mean, this is not pack one, pick one for sure. No, I mean, in terms of like limited, I'd almost rather kind of have Anticipate because Anticipate is instant speed and you're more likely to have Anticipate. I mean, Anticipate's not an M21 and this is probably the reason why, but I mean, in terms of limited, not a pack one, pick one for sure. No, I'd be looking for removal or anything but this. To be honest, I'm just being honest. I mean, it helps you dig through your deck, which is great, but most likely there's going to be something better in your pack than this. Next up, we've got Shacklegeist for 1 and a blue. It's a spirit creature. It's a 2/2 with flying, so a 2/2. A 2 mana 2/2 with flying, not bad. It can only block creatures with flying. Okay. Tap 2 untapped creature. Tap 2 untapped spirits you control. Tap target creature you don't control. So I haven't seen a lot of spirit creatures so far. I mean, Spirit Rogue, and there hasn't been a lot of spirit creatures I've seen. So how useful will this be? I'm just taking a look at the other blue cards here real quick, and there's not a whole lot of spirits. So in something like limited, I don't think that last ability is going to be that useful, to be honest. I mean, unless there's spirits in other colors. But right now, I'm kind of thinking, it's okay. I mean, pack one, pick one. Maybe if there's nothing better, to be honest. I don't know. Next up, we've got Shipwreck Dowser for 3 double blue. It is a creature merfolk wizard. It's a 3/3, a 3/3 for 5. Has prowess. When this enters the battlefield, return target instant or sorcery card from your graveyard to your hand. Ooh. It's like an Arachiomancer or Archaeomancer or something, however you say it. But it's 1 mana more and does have prowess, so it's not bad. Not bad. You know, get some recursion going on in there. Next up, we've got Spined Megalodon. Oh, it's a shark. Oh, it looked like a turtle for a second there. 5 double blue. It's a shark creature. It's a 5/7. A 5/7 for 7. Not bad. Has hexproof. Okay. I kind of like that. Whenever this attacks, you scry 1. Okay, for a common and for a high-end like bomb, yeah, I'd take this for sure. Next up, we've got Stormwing Entity for 3 double blue. It's an elemental creature. It's a 3/3. This spell costs 2 and a blue less to cast if you cast an instant or sorcery spell this turn. Has flying and prowess. When this enters battlefield, you scry 2. So this could cost 1 and a blue essentially. Yeah, because it's 5 mana. Yeah, so 2 mana. Ooh. You could possibly cast this by turn 3. So you get an opt. You get this pack 1, pick 1. Yeah. You have a good chance of finding an opt. Hopefully, I mean, it's a common. Especially like in sealed or something. You get cast opt by turn 3. And then you cast this as well. You get a 3/3 with flying prowess for 2. And you get to scry 2. Heck yeah. I would pack 1, pick 1 this. It seems pretty easy to cast this for 2 mana. Next up, we've got Sublime Epiphany for 4 double blue. I love the art on this. Look at the art on it. It's just so weird and crazy. It's just a really weird art, and I love the wacky art. Lindsay, look what you did. It's amazing. So Sublime Epiphany. It is an instant. Choose 1 or more. Counter target spell. I like it. Counter target or activated or triggered ability. Okay, I like that. Return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. Okay. Create a token that's a copy of target creature you control. Not bad. Target player draws a card. Okay, I'm sold on that. You choose 1 or more. This is like Cryptic Command on crack. I mean, yeah, it's 6 mana. Okay, and something like EDH, 6 mana is nothing in EDH. Then this is amazing. You choose it all, and plus you get to draw a card, too. I mean, come on. You pack 1, pick 1, hell yes. Even if I don't even end up playing it, I'm just taking it anyway because I want the card. Teferi, Master of Time. Oh, Teferi. Oh, God. I mean, I've probably everybody knows about this card, so let's just get on with my thoughts on the card. 2 double blue, Legendary Planeswalker Teferi. Oh, Teferi. I mean, I know M21 is the Teferi set, so. It starts off with 3 loyalty. You may activate loyalty abilities of Teferi, Master of Time, on any player's turn anytime you could cast an instant. +1, draw a card, then discard a card. Not a looting effect, not bad. -3, target creature you don't control phases out. Oh, phasing is back. At least it's only a creature phases out, just 1. -10, take 2 extra turns after this one. If you're listening to the audio right now and not looking at my face, just my face says it all. So, okay, so Pixie and I were talking about this card on Magic for Normies, and I think on a 1v1 situation, this card isn't too bad, right? So you cast this by turn for now in limited. This is just dumb and limited. It's going to be, you need to take care of this card right away in limited. But so in a standard deck, like standard control deck, Jeskai control, Esper control, whatever control deck comes out of this, that's gonna eventually play this card. So in a 1v1 situation, you cast this on turn 4. Most likely you're gonna want to, 99% of the time, you're gonna want to +1 Teferi to draw a card and discard a card. Then on your opponent's turn, you're gonna want to most likely phase out one of their creatures because you want to try to protect Teferi, right? So it goes from 4 loyalty down to 1, and hopefully, maybe your opponent has a way to really take out Teferi that way. Or, if Teferi's going to die anyway, then you just draw a card, discard a card again anyway, and phasing out doesn't do anything to help you. So I still think, even with the -10 taking 2 extra turns after this one, it's going to be hard to pull that off because by itself, it doesn't protect itself that well. The phasing out is good, but you're only going to be able to do it once or twice, something like that. In a format like EDH, this is where I have problems with this card in EDH. With all the ways to get Planeswalkers pumped up with Atraxa and Oath of Teferi and Chain Veil and all the other, doubling season and all that, it's super easy to get to that neg 10. And especially since you can activate this loyalty ability on any player's turn, as soon as you play this card in EDH, you're going to become de facto number 1, take them out ASAP. So, I will say I like the design, the mechanical design of the card, right? The fact that you can activate loyalty abilities on any player's turn anytime you cast an instant, that's cool. But, jeez. I mean, so the past 2 years we have dealt with Teferi craziness, the Hero of Dominaria, which I love. Okay, I complain about Teferi, even though I love playing Teferi. I love playing both Teferis, but it's also, at the same time, it's kind of like they're too good, in a sense. Teferi Hero of Dominaria is really freaking good. Teferi Time Reveler, the War of the Spark Teferi, is really freaking good. And now this, 3, 4, and 5. I mean, historic, oops, all Teferis, here I go. Here I go. I don't even know what more to say. Oh, would you pack one, pick one, this card? Yeah, of course. I wouldn't. I mean, I would. Anyways, next up, we've got Teferi's Ageless Insight for 2 double blue legendary enchantment. If you would draw a card, except the first one you draw in each of your draw steps, draw 2 cards instead. So something like this is an EDH, that'd be great. Especially when, oh, you know, this would go really good on my Niv Mizzet deck. I think I would play this on my Niv Mizzet Parun deck in EDH, my Spellslinger deck, because I draw a lot of cards in that. Ooh, I like this a lot. Now, as far as limited goes, nah, I'd look for something else. Standard? It seems a bit slow for standard, right? Maybe control? I don't know. Or maybe like the self-mill decks would want it, maybe? Sure, I'd give it a try. Teferi's Protege is next, and it's 2 and a blue. It's a human wizard creature. It's a 2/3. You can pay 1 and a blue, tap this, draw a card, then discard a card. So a looter that's pretty expensive. Dang. I mean, if it's like your stick card, if there's nothing better to pick, yeah, pick that. Next up, we got Teferi's Tutelage for 2 and a blue. It's an enchantment. When this enters the battlefield, draw a card, then discard a card. So nice loot effect. Whenever you draw a card, target opponent mills 2 cards. Ooh, so some milling going on. So this would definitely go in your mill deck for historic or standard. I don't think there's really a mill deck in standard, is there? I don't know. But in terms of like limited, it's okay. You know, I mean, there's not... I haven't seen a whole lot of mill like support, so it seems okay for that. Next up, we've got Tide Skimmer for 3 and a blue. It is a Drake creature. It's a 2/3, a 2/3 for 4. Okay. Flying, whenever you attack with 2 or more creatures with flying, draw a card. And with how easy it is to get flying in like limited, yeah, this is pretty decent actually. I mean, heck, I don't think I'd put it in a home in my blue-white Flyers deck, but you know, if I was going like budget or something, maybe. Next up, we've got Talarian Kraken, the octopus grabbing the castle. Holy shit, that's a freaking huge Kraken there. For 4 double blue, it is a Kraken creature. It's a 4/6. Whenever you draw a card, you may pay 1. When you do, you may tap or untap target creature. So that would be a really handy way in limited to tap down those pesky creatures in order for you to attack, have a clear path to attack. Next up, we've got Tome Anima. For 3 and a blue, it's a spirit creature, 3/3. This can't be blocked as long as you've drawn 2 or more cards this turn. It's pretty neat. So a 3/3 for 4 on its own, it's not too bad. I mean, could be better, but has the possibility of being unblockable. I like it. I mean, I'd Probably mid to late pick more than anything. Next up, we've got a reprint of Unsubstantiate. There we go. I know how to speak. 1 in a blue instant, return target spell or creature to its owner's hand. Always handy bounce spell. Next up, we've got Vodalian Arcanus. 1 in a blue, it's a Merfolk Wizard. It's a 1/3. You can tap this to add 1 colorless. Spend this mana only to cast an instant or sorcery spell. I think this is a reprint too, as well. I mean, it's okay. It's not bad. I mean, it's like your stick card or something. Next up, we've got Waker of Waves for 5 double blue. It's a whale creature. It's a 7/7. Creatures your opponents control get -1, -0. You can pay 1 in a blue, discard Waker of Waves, look at the top 2 cards of your library, put one of them into your hand and the other into your graveyard. So, this could be a decent bomb because a 7 mana 7/7 that makes your opponent's creatures a little bit weaker. Yeah, give that to me. It could be an early to mid pick. For sure. Heck, maybe even a pack one, pick one if there's literally nothing better to choose from. I like it. I like it a lot. I mean, I think this only really see limited play anyway. Next up, we've got Wall of Runes, a reprint of Wall of Runes from War of the Spark, I want to say, because that looks like the Amonkhet zombie guys. I forget their names already. For 1 blue, it's a wall creature. It's a 0/4 defender. When it enters the battlefield, scry 1. Not bad. I mean, scry 1 is great. Get to look through it and look through your deck and help you get through your cards. And then last, but certainly not least for the blue cards, all for the blue cards, it is Wishcoin Crab. For 3 in a blue, it's a crab creature. It's a 2/5, and that's about it. It's okay. It's got a big butt, and it does not lie. Can grant you a wish with a coin. And what wishes do they grant? Mostly pinching-related ones. So there you have it. That's all the blue cards. So there you have it. That's all the blue cards, and I really hope you enjoyed this episode. The next episode will be talking about all the black cards of M21 and my thoughts and feelings on all those cards and talk about some of the art. I will say the blue cards, the art, we'll have to say the art was nowhere near as good as the white cards because there was like no doggies or cats at all, just a bunch of spirits and crabs and whales and sirens. It did have some monks, some monk reprints and all that stuff, but no cats and no dogs. So that puts my ranking of the art for blue down at the bottom right now compared to white and blue. White is at number 1 in terms of art. Blue is at the bottom in terms of art. Does black, red, green, or multicolored, colorless, or artifact have better art than the white cards? Stay tuned and find out, and we will get the rankings. Maybe this is what my set reviews become, just ranking the cuteness of the art instead of just talking about the actual cards. I don't know, but stay tuned, find out, and we'll talk about black cards next. Thank you all for listening and watching. Have a great night.